The Houston Texans have won the AFC South championship 8 times in the last 14 years. Now, that's not saying the Houston Texans have been good for the last 14 years. It's just the South is really, really not competitive. I mean, you got the Jaguars in there, for Christ's sake. I mean, the Jaguars have had 2 first overall picks and a second overall pick in the last 5 years. And in the last 14 years, the Houston Texans have dominated the South, except for 2022 when they got the second overall pick. But they used that second overall pick to draft CJ Stroud, the man that they are hoping is going to save their franchise. He's looking pretty damn good. He's won a playoff game in each of his first 2 years in the league. I mean, it took Peyton Manning 6 years to win a playoff game. So it looks like the Texans have gotten their quarterback in CJ Stroud, and they got a running back, Joe Mixon, last year in the offseason, and got Nick Chubb this year in the offseason if he can stay healthy and not, tear his leg open. I mean, they don't have Tank Dell this season. He's still injured. They do have Nico Collins and Dalton Schultz. They also have Christian Kirk and Justin Watson on the roster, who's a solid receiver, not, game-changing, but he's a good option. They drafted Jaden Higgins in the second round of the draft this year, so they got a pretty decent receiving core even without Tank Dell. They got a great running back room with Joe Mixon and Nick Chubb, and then backups Damian Pierce and Dare Ogunbowale, they're pretty good options, not, crazy, but they're pretty solid backups. They got a great defense with Will Anderson Jr. going into his 3rd year in the league. They got CJ Gardner-Johnson and Jalen Reed at safety. They have overall a top 5 defense in the league. With their offense being as good as it is and CJ Stroud being as good as he is, he will elevate, Justin Watson and those other receivers, plus having the receivers that are already at that next level, like Nico Collins and the tight end Dalton Schultz. So today I'm going to be going through Houston's schedule game by game and predicting their record for the 2025 NFL season. Now, the Rams have a very, very good defense of Jared Verse, the rookie last year, getting 4.5 sacks in his rookie year, which is pretty damn good. Houston has a better offense than LA. Houston has better running backs. Houston's got a much younger quarterback. I think they have, they have Devontae Adams on the Rams, who is aging. Still Devontae Adams, but he is getting up there. He's probably only got, 1 or 2 more really good years left in him. And Stafford had a back injury in practice. I don't think it was anything, urgent or crazy. He was throwing deep passes to Devontae Adams in practice a couple days ago, so I don't think it's anything that's going to stop him from playing. Matthew Stafford's always been someone who's going to play through injury no matter what. He threw a touchdown pass with a dislocated throwing arm, I remember. And yeah, it's not going to stop him from playing. But I do think it's week 1. The Rams, Matthew Stafford coming off of that slight injury. Texans having a better running back room. CJ Stroud has a bit more chemistry with his receivers than Stafford and Devontae Adams do at this point. I think it's 2 very, very good teams. I think it could go either way, honestly. But I'm going to go Houston in week 1. Just because I think Houston has a bit of a better defense than LA, and Matthew Stafford is coming off of that back injury, which I don't think is going to matter that much, but I still think Houston's going to get the win in week 1. Next up, week 2 at home against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, Tampa Bay is going to be a very, very well-rounded team. Very good receivers with Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, and they got Bucky Irving at running back and Rachaad White at running back. Rachaad White's a pretty decent backup. Buccaneers do have Hassan Reddick, Vita Vea, and Jamal Dean on that defense. Buccaneers they're a very, very well-rounded team. They have great running backs, great receiving core, great defense, great quarterback in Baker Mayfield. Very, very polished team. Well, I do think Tampa Bay is a very, very well-rounded team. I don't think they're going to be world enders in the season or anything like that. I don't think they're going to be crazy good. They're not going to be going for that 1 seed, I don't think. I do think they'll win the South, but nothing like, I don't expect them to get like 13, 14 wins or anything crazy. I think Houston has a better run game than Tampa. It's in Houston. It's week 2. All the teams are still trying to figure out who they are at this point in the season. You got weird stuff like the Saints, beating the Cowboys, and who else was it? They beat someone else like 40-20 last year in the first 2 weeks of the season. I'm gonna go Houston for week 2 win. It's in Houston. I think Houston's got a better run game. I think they both have great defenses, but I'm gonna go Houston in week 2. Week 3 in Jacksonville against the Jaguars. This year for Jacksonville is really just going to be, can Trevor Lawrence take another step forward, and is Travis Hunter going to be able to play both sides of the ball consistently. Jacksonville has a terrible defense, one of the worst in the league. They lost Evan Ingram to the Denver Broncos. They still have Travis Etienne at running back. They got Brian Thomas Jr. from the draft last year. They have Travis Hunter at wide receiver and cornerback, so the defense will be, we'll see. He's a rookie. We'll see what's going to happen with the defense. It's still probably going to be bottom 5 defense in the league. But Jaguars, not a good team. You know, in Jacksonville, I don't think it's going to really matter, and I think Texans have a much better defense, much better receivers, much better run game. I'm going Texans win in week 3, giving them a 3-0 record to start the year. Next up, week 4, Tennessee coming to Houston. Cam Ward, it's just going to be, you know, what do we have in Cam Ward? Going to be, Titans are going to be drafting high again this year. They're going to be probably drafting in the top 5 again this year. Titans not a good team at all. Titans another team that have a bottom 5 defense. It's a division game, but it's a really easy division for the Texans. The Texans are the best team in the South, and they will continue to be the best team in the South. They just have a much more complete roster than everyone else in the team. They have a better quarterback than anyone else in the South. In Houston, I'm going the Texans to get 4-0 to start the year against Titans. Week 5 in Baltimore. Now, Baltimore has, they got DeAndre Hopkins over the offseason, and they got Jair Alexander at cornerback. So the defense got better. The offense got better. On offense, you got DeAndre Hopkins. You got Zay Flowers. You got Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Justice Hill. And it's a very complete offense. Mark Andrews at tight end. Ravens are a much, much more complete team in Baltimore in week 5. Ravens is where everyone's starting to get rolling around week 5 to 7, maybe more around week 7, but everyone's just starting to get rolling into their offense. Everyone's feeling comfortable in the season unless you're losing. But the Ravens have a much, much better offense than the Texans, much better quarterback, much more experienced offense. I don't see Houston winning this in Baltimore. It's the first loss to the Texans in 2025. Next up, week 6, you got the bye week, which is kind of an early bye week. It's not too bad, but it's kind of an early bye week. You'd probably want one more around week 9 or 10, but it'll be all right, unless you have injuries down the line, but it should be all right. Then you got the Seahawks in Seattle, Sam Darnold, CJ Stroud. Seahawks have a terrible O-line. Texans have a pretty good D-line. I would assume Sam Darnold's getting sacked pretty consistently in this game. I mean, Seattle's a fringe playoff team. They're not, you know, they're nothing special. I mean, Houston is definitely a better team than Seattle. Houston should be able to run the ball more efficiently than Seattle. You know, Houston has a terrible O-line too, though, so it could really go either way. I think Texans have a better defense. I think Texans have better receivers with DK Metcalf leaving. You do have Jackson Smith and Njigba. You know, Seattle on offense, they have Zach Chardonnay, Cooper Kupp, Jake Bobo, Jackson Smith and Njigba. They have Kenneth Walker at running back. So it's all right running room. They have pretty good receivers with Bobo and Kupp and Njigba. Texans, I just think Texans have a better defense. Texans have better offense. I think better quarterback for sure. I don't think Sam Darnold's going to do well in Seattle. I think Sam's a system quarterback. He did well in Kevin O'Connell's system. I don't think he's going to do well in the Seahawks system. So I'm giving Houston a win in week 7 in Seattle. Week 8, we got San Francisco 49ers at home in Houston. Niners, I think the Niners are really going to be coming back this year. I think last year was really a big Super Bowl hangover. I think Brandon Ayuk at receiver, George Kittle at tight end, really, really good offense. They did trade away Jordan Mason to the Vikings, and I don't think Christian McCaffrey is healthy still. I think he's still injured. I think he got injured in training camp. I think the Niners will definitely be better this year. I think their offense is going to be better this year. I don't know if Christian McCaffrey is healthy to play still. I think he got injured in camp, didn't he? But, you know, the Niners have Brock Purdy, who's a good quarterback. They have a very, very good head coach in Kyle Shanahan, you know, unless you're halfway through a Super Bowl. But I do think the Niners can be better this year. I think the Texans' offense is going to be worse than the Niners' offense if McCaffrey is going to be playing by week 8. I think the Niners' defense is going to be better this year. I think their I really just think last year was really just them stumbling after the Super Bowl. I think they're going to be able to pick it up this year, and that is not the right one. That is the right one. I think the Texans are going to fall to the Niners in Week 8. Week 9, the Denver Broncos, who are a vastly improved team from last year. Vastly improved. They got a really, really good defense, top 5 defense on that team. Patrick Surtain obviously winning Defensive Player of the Year last year. Bo Nix, Rookie of the Year candidate last year, looked amazing. Sean Payton, an amazing head coach, Super Bowl winning head coach. And Broncos are on a good path to be a Super Bowl team in the near future. If not this year, we'll see how they do this year. It's second year quarterback. He could have a sophomore slump. I don't really see Bo Nix having a sophomore slump. I see him improving. Within the next couple years, we could be talking Broncos or a Super Bowl team. Great receiving core with Cortland Sutton. They get Evan Ingram from the Jaguars. They get Troy Franklin, who they drafted last year out of Oregon. We'll see if he gets involved in the offense a little more. Josh Reynolds, is he still on the team? Nope, never mind. He's on the Jets. He got shot in Denver, and they were like, nah. But the Broncos have a really, really good running back room with J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey, and Jaleel McLaughlin. They also have Audric Estime, but I don't think they'll keep 4 running backs on the team. They all 4 look amazing in preseason, but one of them's probably going to get cut before the season starts. Broncos, Bo Nix is going to continue to improve. He's got Cortland Sutton. He's got great receivers, great tight end. His offense got better from last year, which they made the playoffs last year. Didn't do well in that Bills game, but it's the Bills. Bills are just a better team. Their defense is insane. Top 5, if not top 3 defense in the league. I don't know if they're 1. They might be 1. Best defense in the league, Broncos. They might be 1. But I think the Broncos would be too much for the Texans to handle here in Week 9. The players, they're getting tired. They're in the rhythm of the season. But I think the Broncos are just going to take this one in Houston. Broncos are a better team. Here we go. We get an easier game. The Jacksonville Jaguars for Houston in Houston. The Texans, it's a win. It's a win against Jacksonville. Same as Week 3. Jaguars have a bottom 5 defense. Their offense is not good. They lose Evan Ingram to Denver. They still have Travis Etienne. They get Travis Hunter. It's just seeing, is Travis Hunter going to be able to play both sides of the ball, and will Trevor Lawrence improve? That's all this is for the Jaguars. They are a bottom 5 team in the league and bottom 5 defense. They're terrible. Texans are good. Moving on. Here we go. Week 11. We got another division game at the Titans. Cam Ward, rookie season. Really just going to see how he's doing. He's got Tony Pollard at running back, Calvin Ridley at receiver. The defense did get better. over the offseason. But still, the Titans, not a good team. Defense isn't going to win you games. Just look at the Jets when Aaron Rodgers went down. They had Zach Wilson. Defense did not win them games. Houston's getting a couple bounce back games here, and Houston wins in Week 11 at Tennessee. Buffalo Bills coming to the Houston Texans. Bills lose in the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs in a last-second loss. Josh Allen, pressured by the Chiefs, throws a ball up, hits Kincaid, I believe it was, in the hands. It was a tough play. It was a tough ball to grab, but Bills still lost that game, and it did hit Kincaid in the hands. After Kincaid, dove backwards for it, but, whatever. Buffalo, they get Josh Palmer. They get Joey Bosa from the Chargers and Josh Palmer from the Chargers. They got a lot of Chargers. They lose Amari Cooper, but I don't think it's really going to matter that much. They put in Josh Palmer, and I think that's a pretty good replacement, Bills have James Cook, Josh Allen, great offense, great defense with Rasul Douglas at cornerback and Joey Bosa in there, and Matt Milano and Von Miller. I think the Bills beat the Texans in Week 12, and Buffalo gives Houston their 4th loss of the season. Next up, we got another division game in Indianapolis. First time they're playing the Colts this year, which is pretty late in the season to have a division game in Week 13, but is what it is. Indianapolis did just name Daniel Jones as the starter. We'll see. I mean, Shane Steichen's just trying to save his job with that move. Richardson, it's probably smart for him to sit. Learn behind Daniel Jones. Don't throw him into the fire. I believe quarterbacks take a couple years to improve, like Peyton Manning, like Jordan Love sat, Patrick Mahomes sat, Tom Brady sat. Richardson will sit. Who knows if it will be Richardson by week 13? I don't think it will. I think it'll still be Daniel Jones. So Daniel Jones, CJ Stroud, the Indianapolis Colts, I think they have a bottom 10 defense in the league. Terrible defense. Houston's offense at times can be explosive. CJ Stroud's good at hitting, Tank Dell and Nico Collins on the deep ball for the touchdown. I mean, CJ Stroud's rookie year, the last game of the season, like first play of Houston, Stroud just throws it up for, I don't remember if it was Nico Collins or Tank Dell, but throws it up and they just touchdown. Stroud's got a really, really good accuracy at the deep ball, and Indy has a terrible defense. I have no hope with Indy winning this game in any shape or form. Texans are winning the South. Come on now. At Kansas City. Now, I do think this is going to be a tougher game for Houston. Kansas City's got a good defense. I don't know what happened with their O-line in the Super Bowl last year. It is absolutely terrible. Well, it is the Eagles, to be fair. The Chiefs have Xavier Worthy and Hollywood Brown at receivers. Travis Kelce at tight end. Isaiah Pacheco at running back. Pretty good receiving weapons. Good running back in Isaiah Pacheco. Chris Jones is still dominant, and I think the Chiefs take down Houston in week 14. Chiefs are a better team than the Texans, I think, and yeah, Texans get their 5th loss. Week 15, Arizona coming into Houston. Arizona's got a really good defense. I just don't think Kyler Murray can operate that offense as well as CJ Stroud can operate his offense. I think CJ Stroud makes much better decisions in the pocket than Kyler Murray does. Even when they scramble, I mean, Kyler can run. Kyler does make good decisions on the scramble, but Kyler's main talent is not his arm in the NFL, it's his legs, and you can't just break a run out every single play. I think they rely too much on James Conner and their defense to get him out of games, and I just don't think that's going to win them games, especially late in the season in December. Both have really good defenses. I think the Texans have a better defense than Arizona, but I also think Texans have a better offense than Arizona. But the defenses, they're both good defenses going at each other, I just think Houston has better offense. Houston's got Joe Mixon and Nick Chubb. Arizona's got James Conner, but I think they use James Conner too much. They rely too heavily on James Conner. And CJ Stroud can make tougher throws than Murray can, I think. I think Houston's O-line is going to have trouble with the Cardinals. Houston overall should be able to beat Arizona in Houston. And I'm giving Houston the win in week 15. Week 16, you got the Raiders coming into Houston. Raiders got Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker at receiver. Geno Smith, of course, at quarterback. Ashton Genty and Zamir White at running back. Zamir White's the backup, though. Zamir White's going to be the backup. Brock Bowers, of course, at tight end. Just unreal tight end. The best tight end in the league already after his rookie season. Runs like a receiver, catches like a receiver, but has that big body and power like a tight end. It is unreal to watch. Raiders have a terrible defense. Another team that's a bottom 5 defense in the league. Geno Smith will definitely elevate that offense more than Aiden O'Connell did. Houston's got Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz. They got the 2 running backs, Joe Mixon and Nick Chubb. I mean, it's a much more well-rounded receiving core. Running backs, the backs can catch some out of the backfield too and make some plays. I just think Houston's a better team than the Raiders. Houston gets the win late in the season. I doubt Raiders are playing for anything at this point in mid-December. Or late December, actually. Houston get the win in week 16. Week 17 to be determined. It is the Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Houston Texans. Chargers got a pretty good receiving core with Ladd McConkey, Keenan Allen, and Quentin Johnston, even though Quentin Johnston, can't catch balls that hit him in the hand.
Herbert, there's the bump. Johnston can't pull it in.
I don't even know. I'm just disappointed looking at that clip. Chargers got a top 10 defense. Chargers got a good offense. Chargers win in week 17. Jim Harbaugh is going to have the Justin Herbert playing better in his second year coaching the team. I think he's going to have the offense operating better. He's got Ladd McConkey. He's got Keenan Allen to throw to. He just got Amarian Hampton out of North Carolina. I think the Chargers are going to be good this year. I think the Chargers are going to get good. they're not going to win the West or anything. I think the Broncos and the Chiefs are still better, but they are going to be a much better team this year. And I got the Chargers winning in Week 17. Week 18 against the Colts, an easier game again. Colts defense is terrible. Colts offense is terrible. They got Michael Pittman. They got Jonathan Taylor at running back. Daniel Jones is going to be quarterbacking the Colts. But I don't think the Colts, maybe the Colts are fighting for a South title here. I don't think they will be, because the Texans are at 10 wins, and that means the Colts have to get 10 wins, and they just have a really bad defense. I don't think they can get to 10 wins. I think the Colts might get around 7 wins, but I don't think 10 is really in the realm, unless they could. They totally could. I don't see that happening. So they're really not going to have anything to play for. Maybe Anthony Richardson is playing at this point because they're like, we're already eliminated. Might as well put the kid in and see what he can do. I don't think they will. I think it'll still be Daniel Jones. I do have the Texans winning in Week 18. With that, I have the Texans going 11-6, winning the South and getting another home playoff game in 2026. Yeah, I think Houston has a really, really good defense. I think they got a good offense. They're not Super Bowl or anything like that, but I do think they're a divisional to first round playoff team. I think CJ Stroud's going to take some steps forward. I think that running back duo with Mixon and Chubb is going to be insane to watch. But yeah, I think Houston's a good team. I think they're in a very weak division with Jacksonville, Indianapolis, and Tennessee. Tennessee having a rookie quarterback, the Colts just figuring out what their quarterback is, and the Jaguars hoping Trevor Lawrence improves, just seeing what they have of Travis Hunter and Trevor Lawrence, seeing what that connection is. So yeah, I think the Texans are primed to win this division. I think it's a massive failure on their part if they don't win the division, because it's pretty much handed to them. That'll do it for my breakdown of the Texans 2025 schedule and my predictions of their win-loss record. I'm Benchwarmer Genius. Goodbye.